Good morning, Ms. Watkins.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Ms. Watkins, I have for you actually two photo enforcement charges. The first one is from December 24th of 2024 at the 2900 block of Glenwood. The allegation is that you were speeding 31 miles per hour in a 20 mile per hour zone. There's a second photo enforcement charge from March 6th of 2025 that alleges that you were speeding 35 miles per hour in a 25 mile per hour zone at the 2200 block of Edgewood. So two separate charges. A couple of different ways to proceed with these photo enforcement tickets. One option would be to speak with the prosecutor this morning. If you'd like to discuss those two tickets with the prosecutor, you have the option of doing that. You could also plead not guilty to those charges and set them over for trial, or you could plead guilty to the charges. How would you like to proceed today?
I'll plead guilty.
You want to plead guilty to both of the charges? Okay, let's start with the one that ends in 18108. This is the one that I mentioned from December 24th. The charge is speeding 31 miles per hour in a posted 20 mile per hour zone at the 2900 block of Glenwood Drive. How do you plead to that charge?
Guilty, Your Honor.
Accept that guilty plea. The fine is set by city ordinance at $40. Is there anything you'd like to say about the case before I make the fine an order of the court?
Actually, yes, Your Honor.
Go ahead.
I would like to request, may I please request a reduction of that $60 and then I will pay the $40. I had financial hardship the last quarter of 2024. I had zero income from October through the end of the year, and I've been playing catch up, which is why I have not been able to take care of it.
Okay, thank you for sharing that. So, Mr. Altenberg, do you have a position with respect to the served in person fee on that ticket?
We have no objection to waiving it.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and waive it based on what you've described. So, and since you're pleading guilty to the other two charges, I think that's an appropriate way to do it. So I'm going to impose the $40 fine, and then we're going to waive the served in person fee. I would probably just-
Your Honor, may I request a little additional time to pay that?
I can do that as well.
Thank you.
Yes. So I'll take the plea on both, and then we'll give you a court date, which you won't have to come back to court on.
Okay.
What's going to happen is we'll reset these in our system. And as long as they're paid by the court date that we set, you won't actually have to come back. So I'll take the plea on the other charge, and then we'll give you a court date down the road. Is a month going to be enough time to get them paid? It'll be a total of $80 that you'll have.
Yes, please. Thank
Okay.
you.
Let me take the plea in the second case, which is the one that ends in 13255. This is a charge of speeding 35 in a 25 mile per hour zone on March 6th of 2025 at the 2200 block of Edgewood. How do you plead to that charge?
Guilty.
Accept that guilty plea.
I have not seen the evidence, but I trust that it's correct.
Right, and that's up to you. If you wanted to look at the evidence, you could have a conversation with the prosecutor, but it's up to you.
I have not seen it. May I have time to do that?
You want to see it with the prosecutor?
Yes.
Okay, so we won't take the plea, and you can have a quick conversation. The other one you've already seen, the one that I took the plea.
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, Mr. Altenberg can talk to you about that, and then we'll have you come back in the courtroom and we'll address that case. So we'll just hold on to this one. You're welcome. Morning. About that one for us. Mr. Mardos, there's one charge for you. It's a charge of failing to avoid interfering with the vehicle ahead. That's a 4-point traffic infraction. The prosecutors have offered to reduce that from 4 points to 2 points. If you pled guilty to a 2-point charge, you would have a fine. They've also made the option of reducing it to a 1-point charge if you were willing to take an online traffic class. I'll share with you, but for others as well. The online traffic class takes about 2 to 4 hours to complete. The people who put the class on charge a $60 fee. So you should be aware of that, because there would also be a fine, but you would have the extra point reduction if you wanted to choose that option. You also have the option of speaking with a prosecutor today if you'd like to discuss the case with Mr. Altenberg.
I have no desire to speak on the case. For the traffic class, is that like a Zoom or an in-person class?
It's Zoom. Yeah, you would appear virtually, and it's actually not even Zoom. It's an online class, so it's self-paced. You'll go to the website. You'll read the materials that they provide for you, and then you take basically a test at the end to show that you've been paying attention to what you've been reading, and then you get a certificate when you complete the class. So you're not actually having an instructor providing instruction, and it's more of reading materials. There may be some videos on it, but it's not one where you're in a situation in an actual classroom setting.
Well, then I would like to plead guilty and take the class, Your
All
Honor.
right, so that means you'd be pleading guilty to the 1-point infraction. And what the prosecutors are going to do is change the name of the charge and reduce it to a 1-point charge. It'll be called failing to use a headlight and only having a single headlight operating. That's a violation of section 732 of the Boulder Revised Code. And that allegedly occurred on March 8th of 2025 at 30th and Baseline Road. How do you plead to that charge?
I plead guilty, Your Honor.
I'll accept that guilty plea to the 1-point charge. I'm gonna just take a quick look at the notes from the officer. Officer said you had a good attitude, so I always appreciate it when I see that. And then I'm gonna pull up your driving record, or Sabrina's gonna pull it up because she's quicker. 1 ticket in 2024. How long have you been driving in Colorado?
I've been driving in Colorado since I turned 15, so about, I guess I don't know what year that would be, 2019.
Okay, so 5 or 6 years and just 1 ticket, so it's not a bad record coming in. So I'm gonna take that into account. I'm also gonna look at the accident report that Sabrina's bringing up for me. What I'm really looking at to see if anybody was injured. Doesn't look like there were any injuries. Were you okay and the other party
Yes.
okay? So that's good to hear. So because you've got a pretty good driving record and you're gonna spend some money and time on the class, I'm gonna set my fine a little lower than I would otherwise set it. Actually, I think normally it's a $150 fine. In this circumstance, because of the good record, I'm gonna set your fine at $110. And then there are $30 in court costs. So it leaves you $140 to pay the court, and then you'll have that class to complete.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Can you pay your fine today?
Yes, I can.
All right, then I'm gonna send you right out front. You're gonna just turn right here when you exit and just have a seat on the benches. As soon as the clerk's ready for you, they'll call you up, they'll collect the payment. They're gonna give you information about the class, including a court date, which is the due date for getting the class completed. As long as we have the certificate back that shows you've completed the class before that court date, you won't have to come back to court.
All right, thank you.
Any questions for me?
No,
All right, just right out front then. Have a good day.
thank you.
Let's say, so you would be putting here, you'd be marking this box for the single headlight. There she is. If you'll come back forward. Go ahead, Mr. Altenberg.
Yes, Your Honor, I had the opportunity today to review the photo evidence with Ms. Watkins, and it's my belief that she intends to plead guilty to the second offense as well.
Okay, and thanks for sharing that with her. Is that correct, Ms. Watkins?
Yes, that is, Your Honor.
All right, let me go ahead and accept the plea then. It is to the charge of speeding 35 miles per hour in a 25 mile per hour zone at the 2200 block of Edgewood Drive on March 6th of 2025. How do you plead to that charge?
Guilty.
I'll accept the guilty plea. As I mentioned, the fine is set by city ordinance, so there's not much for me to do, but I will set it at $40. And then I think we talked about giving you a month to pay, and that sounds okay to you?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
You're welcome. So we want to send her out front. They'll give her that new court date. Is that correct? You're gonna do it right here? I never charge state fees, so and just for Sabrina's reference, I am gonna waive the state fee. Good morning.
Morning.
How do you say your name, if you don't mind?
Dong Mei He.
Oh, great. Good morning, Ms. He.
Hi.
Ms. He, the charge for you is speeding 38 miles per hour in a posted 25 mile per hour zone. That's a 4-point traffic infraction. There are 2 options for you to consider from the prosecutor's office. One would be to reduce that from 4 points to 2 points, and there would just be a fine if you chose that option. You also have the option of accepting a plea to a 1-point charge if you were willing to take the online traffic class that you heard me describe to that other young man just a few minutes ago.
Oh, okay.
So those are 2 options for you. The third option for you would be to speak with the prosecutor, and you always have the right to simply plead not guilty and set your case for trial. So a couple of different ways to proceed.
So how much is it?
If you were to plead guilty to this charge directly or to the 2-point charge, it would be up to me to set the fine, but my typical fine is $125 for that. And then there's $30 in court costs.
Oh, so that's 160?
155 is what you,
155?
it may be less than that, but it won't be more.
Oh, okay. So how about the second option if I take a online class?
If you take the online class and you plead guilty to the reduced charge, my fine is a little bit lower than that.
Okay.
But you have to remember you have the cost for the class. So sometimes it ends up costing more initially because you're paying for the class. I reduced my fine a little bit to offset some of that cost for people, but you should expect it's going to cost you a little bit more if you take the class option, but it gets you less points. So that's the trade-off.
Okay. And if I speak with the prosecutor and So what is my option there? I mean,
Well, he'll have to tell you. If you talk to the prosecutor, if you'd like to discuss, oh, can you make a better plea offer? Sometimes people want to say, hey, I would like to have a 0 point. How do I do that? You can talk to him about that. Maybe he'll make that offer, maybe he won't. So it's the offer that I'm communicating to you are the ones that are his standard offers, and he lets me tell you about those offers. They're all coming from the prosecutor's office. It's just I can't make any other offer than their standard offer.
after I talk with him, so basically I can choose either one or two or other.
Yeah, you could choose any of the offers that I've made, and if he makes a different offer to you, you could accept that as well.
Oh, okay. And also meanwhile, because I did a little bit homework online and people talked about the calibration test report and for the speeding tickets. And so I just wonder, and for this part, so were I able to get, yeah.
So just keep in mind, what you read online may not be exactly how the process works here at the court or what the court considers. But if you're hearing about issues about, well, if you want to challenge the calibration of the LiDAR unit that was being used, you can't do that in the initial proceeding here today, because today is simply to tell you about the charge and decide whether to set the case for trial. If your case were to go to trial, then the prosecutors have to prove the charge against you beyond a reasonable doubt. One of the things that they have to prove is that the system that they were using, whether it's a radar gun or a LiDAR gun or whatever it might be, they have to prove that that was working properly. And so they have to prove that it was calibrated. An officer might testify that they calibrated that system to make sure it was working properly. If you wanted to challenge that, you could challenge it in whatever way you choose to during the trial.
Oh, okay. I just have this question and
Sure.
no other, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, thank you so much.
How would you like to proceed? Do you want to talk to a prosecutor?
Yes, I would like to talk with him first and then go from there.
That's perfectly fine then. So if you'll just have a seat, we'll let Mr. Altenberg know that you're ready to have a conversation with him.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Arden Gerlach, who I believe is appearing by Zoom video. Good morning, Ms. Stevens.
Good morning, Your Honor.
And the gentleman to your right, is that your dad?
Yes, Your
All
Honor.
right, good. We'll just have a quick record of that. Thank you. Ms. Stevens, the charge for you is speeding 46 miles per hour in a posted 25 mile per hour zone. That's a 6-point traffic offense. There are two options for you to consider in that charge. One would be to reduce it from 6 points to 4 points, and there would just be a fine. There's also an option to reduce it to a 3-point charge if you are willing to take an online traffic class. And if there's always the option of speaking with the prosecutor. If you'd like to have a conversation with the prosecutor this morning, you could do that as well. How would you like to proceed today?
I would like to speak with the prosecutor.
Okay, that's fine. And when Mr. Altenberg's ready to speak with you, we'll let him know that you're waiting.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Your Honor, I have received that proof of insurance from Ms. Keller.
Good morning, Ms. Nicholson. And that gentleman that was with you, is that your dad?
Yes.
Just want to make a good record that he's here. Great, thank you. Ms. Nicholson, the charge for you is speeding 37 miles per hour in a posted 25 mile per hour zone. That's a 4-point charge. A couple of different options for you to consider. One would be to reduce that to 2 points without any kind of class, or to a 1-point charge. If you chose the 1-point option, you'd have the class as well as a fine. If you'd like to talk to a prosecutor, that's also an option for you today. What would you like to do?
I'd like to take the class, please.
The 1 point with the class? And sir, is that okay with you for her to take that option?
Yes, it is.
All right, let me go and accept the plea then. It is to a 1-point charge, which will be called driving with a defective headlamp. Obviously not what you did, but that's how the points can be reduced. That allegedly occurred March 7th of 2025 at 1515 Greenbrier. How do you plead to that charge?
Guilty, Your Honor.
I'll accept that guilty plea. We'll have you take that class. I'm gonna look at the notes on the back of the ticket here. You had an excellent attitude with the officer. I always appreciate it when I see that from people, so thank you for that. And I do take that into account when I'm setting fines. Is there anything else that you'd like me to know about the case? So normally my fine is $125 and there's 30 in court costs for a number of reasons, including your age. I'm going to make the fine a little bit lower. I'm also looking at your driving record that Sabrina just pulled up. It's a clear record coming in, so that's a positive factor as well. So I'm going to make the fine here $70. There are $30 in court costs, so it leaves you with $100 to pay. Are you able to pay that today?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. I'm going to send you out front on the benches out front. They'll collect that $100 fine. They're going to give you information about the class, and it'll be your job to get the class certificate back to us before the court date that they've set for you. If we do have that certificate, then you won't have to come back to court. All right, any questions for me? All right, thank you for appearing. You're welcome. Have a good day.
Well, that took a turn. Watching in this traffic docket was like watching someone teach a crash course in accountability. Firm on the rules, patient with explanations, and willing to trim fines for honesty and good records. The morning opened with Miss Watkins, who had 2 photo enforcement speeding tickets, one for going 31 in a 20, another for 35 in a 25. She pled guilty to the first, explaining she'd had 0 income late last year and was catching up financially. Cahn waived the served in-person fee and set the fine at $40. On the second, he let her review the photo evidence with the prosecutor before finalizing, but when she returned, he accepted the plea with another $40 fine and a month to pay both. His tone mixed structure with compassion, giving her space without excusing the violations. Mr. Mardos, charged with failing to avoid interfering with the vehicle ahead, a 4-point offense. Prosecutors offered to reduce it to 2 points, or 1 point with an online class. Mardos chose the class. Cahn praised his good attitude with the officer, noted his nearly clean record, and cut the fine from the usual $150 down to $110 plus $30 in costs. His words showed the pattern. Effort and respect earn leniency. Miss 4-point speeding ticket for 38 in a 25. Cahn explained the options, reduced to 2 points with a fine or 1 point with a class. Curious about calibration reports she'd read about online, she asked whether those could help her. Cahn broke it down like a civics lesson. Those arguments belong at trial, where prosecutors must prove the radar or LiDAR was properly calibrated. For today, she could choose a plea deal or trial. She asked to talk to the prosecutor first, and Cahn reset her case accordingly. His patience turned a Google-fueled question into a practical courtroom lesson. Later, Arden Girl Ent, appearing by Zoom with her father present, faced a 6-point speeding ticket, 46 in a 25. Cahn laid out the options, 6 down to 4 points or 3 with a class. Gerlach chose to speak with the prosecutor, and Cahn let it stand, emphasizing that it was her right to negotiate before deciding. Finally, Miss Nicholson, Cia 25, chose the 1 point with class option. Cahn again used the defective headlamp stand-in charge, explained why courts use it, and praised her excellent attitude, noted by the officer. Because of her age and spotless record, he lowered the fine to $70 plus $30 in costs. She accepted, agreed to take the class, and left knowing her case would close once the certificate was filed. What tied it all together was Cahn's Consus E, every defendant, the same structured menu of options, explained exactly how odd-sounding plea deals worked, and rewarded respectful behavior with lower fines. His courtroom felt less like a ticket mill and more like a guided workshop in responsibility, where the price of a mistake wasn't just money, but also a lesson in how the system really works. If you found this hearing insightful, consider subscribing, hitting the bell, and letting me know your thoughts in the comments below. I read every one.